Oh, bro.
Welcome back to Something About Web3. My name is Dan. I'm here with Kazuaki.
What's up?
What a crazy couple of weeks. Absolutely insane. Um, we weren't here last week because both of us lost millions of dollars in Luna and we were really depressed. And so we spent pretty much the whole week getting drunk and buying NFTs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Billions of dollars lost by us personally. uh, just absolutely insane. Um, I mean, I guess all jokes aside, like if you lost money in the Luna collapse, like hang in there. But I will say, if you listen to this podcast, we did do an episode where we talked about algorithmic stable coins, and I remember at the time both of us pretty much said we didn't understand how this was supposed to keep its peg. Like it didn't
Right.
make sense to us, right?
hmm
And I thought I mean, I'm not that smart. So, there's a lot of stuff I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, that are probably good ideas, but this wasn't one of them. So this is why you should listen to this podcast and appreciate our mid-level IQ understanding of what's happening in crypto so that
Yep.
you can stay safe. Because I think if you believed in Luna, you either had to have extremely high IQ or extremely low IQ. And myself, I'm right there in the middle. Kazuaki's probably a bit higher, but
Nah. No. I was right in the middle because like I didn't even touch them.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good. So, but man, I mean that was crazy. So I was watching it happen live on Twitter, watching people talking about the peg, and it even got to the point where I took out a short. I at the moment I was frantically trying to figure out a way to short UST,
Mm.
but I couldn't find a way to do it in time, and a lot of the lending platforms decided to close their UST lens, um, which is unfortunate.
Wow.
But then I took out a short position on Tether
Mm.
because I thought Tether, maybe this would spread to Tether, and Tether is, I don't know if it's necessarily having issues, but a lot of people are redeeming Tether right now. The market cap of Tether is falling a lot, um, by design. You're allowed to
Right.
redeem Tethers if you're one of the Tether partners or whatever. Um, so people have been doing that, but Tether has kept its peg pretty well. It did go down a little bit, but I think I carried a Tether short for like 2 days,
Hmm.
and it ended up costing me like $50 or something like that to carry the Tether short for 2 days. The interest is so high, um, but that's fine. That's fine. Um, I did see also on Phantom that the uh, Deus Deuce whatever DEI stablecoin depegged,
Hmm.
and I also tried to short that, and I saw that Scream had hard coded the value on their platform to $1,
Wow.
but I was too late. A bunch of people realized that as well, and they tried cashing out. Basically, you'd be able to like deposit whatever collateral that you didn't want anymore, and then take out the maximum amount of DEI and sell it, and then let yourself get liquidated. Um, and just make a fat profit. But a lot of people tried doing that, and so Scream also shut down their DEI lending. But they had realized,
Oh, they shut down.
what's that?
Did they shut down?
Well, they just shut down the DEI,
Wow. Wow.
um, but they weren't using Chainlink for
Hmm.
DEI. The stable coins on Scream were just hard coded to $1 in the platform. So now they're using Chainlink. So
Hmm.
lesson learned from them. I think they lost a couple tens of millions of dollars
Yeah.
making some bad loans. Pretty crazy. Um, but man, like It's just these I got so much to say about this. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I want to hear your take.
Ah, well, I didn't figure out like what was happening overall because like I was a bit kind of vacation at the time, but like everyone
Yeah.
talked about like crazy on the Twitter space and
Yeah. So you're
like all
just
my
chilling.
friends, yeah, and well, like like some people like make joke about it, like oh we can like US dollar is like bargain price or something, right? And then like you can get it for like 60% off or
Hmm.
but yeah, like by the time like we talk about it, like we didn't realize like what's gonna happen next. But at the end, like I really think it happened this at this time because like imagine like if this happened like 5 years later, like whole crypto space is gonna be corrupted
Yeah.
and collapsed. So and also like thankfully Luna and EST was like not really relate to other altcoins. So like it didn't propagate to other clubs as well. So I guess at the end, like now we can understand like okay, this happened. At this point is like really good learning.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. It's so true that it's good that it happened now.
Hmm.
Um, and it didn't. I mean, I thought the markets would be more affected. I mean, obviously Bitcoin is down since then, but it's not down a huge amount, you know.
Right.
And already kind of, I mean, we're in a bear market on the micro and macro scale.
Hmm.
The stock market is not good. Inflation, the global economy is not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even with this multi-billion-dollar collapse, Mike Novogratz getting a Luna tattoo days before, the markets overall like are still going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's how I feel like too.
yeah, like no protocols were really taken down. I mean, other
Hmm.
than Anchor, um, there were a bunch of normie facing companies that had built products on Anchor. I don't know if you saw this, but there was
Mm.
a Y Combinator company called Stablecoins
Okay.
that claimed to they would take your US dollars via wire transfer, right, from
Mm.
your bank account.
Yeah.
And they claimed to diversify them into a pool of stable coins, and they would give you a 14% APR on your stables. Okay,
Oh, okay.
interesting idea. And if you read the docs, they've changed the docs since then, but if you read them at the time, the docs made mention of diversifying into DAI
Mm.
and Tether and USDC and Luna USDT. Um, but they said they were diversifying the risk and all this stuff. Turns out later that actually they just took all the deposits, allegedly, I'll say allegedly. They took all the deposits, put them straight into Anchor Protocol, 100% USDT. And so everyone who had deposited money on this platform called Stable Gains, backed by Y Combinator, is a Y Combinator company, lost everything. And basically, what
Wow.
they're doing is they're letting people withdraw their accounts in USDT or
Mm.
USD only. Um, Luna dollars, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So completely wrecked. And that apparently that wasn't the only one. And so all they were doing, I mean, Anchor was supposed to give you a 20% APR. So the business model of this company was we'll take your US dollars, put them into Anchor for 20%, and give you back 14%. That was the entire business model of this company. So when you see crap like that, I mean, it deserves to get wrecked in a lot of ways.
Right. Right.
Um, and it's good that it happened now.
Yep.
And I mean, the guy, I had been seeing Luna on different dApps that I used, but I didn't know anything about it. but I just saw that it was a stable coin like MIM and my. I mean, there's so many different stable coins now, right?
Yep.
I personally I don't really mess with a lot of them. But I just saw it and I didn't think much of it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't care. But then I started seeing that dude who founded it, Do Kwon, talking a lot of smack on Twitter, right? And I was like, oh, who's this stable Kwon guy?
Yeah.
And then later I found out that it was the guy behind Luna, Terra. And I just thought to myself, like, I mean, isn't this guy like obviously unhinged? Like he
Yeah.
seems like insane. Like not the type of person I would want to run a stable coin.
Yeah.
He seems unstable.
Well, like, yeah, first impression I saw him when I saw him was like next Justin Sun came out.
Yeah, yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Yeah. There's if you're in crypto for any amount of time, you start to recognize this type of person, right?
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
everywhere. But somehow this guy got super super big. By the way, if you want 20% on stablecoins, there's a lot easier ways to do that, I think, personally,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You could use Abracadabra, you could use Scream or Cream or Taro or I don't know, Aave. I mean, there's so much you could do.
Yeah.
Bancor V3 is out now, by the way. I didn't put that in the show notes, but did you hear about that at all?
What's about it?
Banker V3. Well, maybe we could talk about it next week because it just came out. But basically, they have a new type of DEX that has what they call an omni pool. So
Okay.
instead of depositing like LPs to farm, everything is single sided, and everything trades in a pair with BNT, the banker and network token,
Mm.
right? So every pair is BNT, but you don't have to deposit BNT. I think what they do is if you deposit ETH, for example, they'll mint an equivalent amount of BNT to go with that ETH on your behalf. And then that goes into what they call the Omni pool, which is everyone is paired with this one BNT pool. And so there's no such thing as like a trading pair in terms of like say ETH to DAI or curve to convex or something like that.
Yeah.
Everything is paired with everything by default. Kind of a cool idea.
Mm.
They say it gives you impermanent loss protection and stuff. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about it more next week. I
Yeah.
haven't got a chance to try it out yet, so
Mm.
but it seems cool. I don't know why I started talking about Banker. Anyway, um, yeah. So that's Luna. I started listening to. I haven't finished it. I started listening to the Bankless episode about Luna. Um, those guys seem pretty excited that it happened. Funny. Um, but yeah. So maybe go check that out if you want some actual
Yeah.
information about what happened. Well,
Mm.
actually, so it's my understanding. A lot of people are calling this like an attack, and people are like, "Oh, some mysterious entity with a lot of money attacked Luna," and so now they're gonna do like a Luna V2 and all this stuff, and they're gonna like kind of quote unquote roll back the chain or fork the chain from before the quote unquote attack. But I think to compare this to something like the DAO hack or even a flash loan attack is kind of
Yeah.
goofy because it actually isn't even an attack. Did you see what actually caused it? Like the positions and the market selling and all that.
No, I didn't check that.
So basically, someone just shorted the heck out of Bitcoin. That's basically what caused this. Some entity apparently borrowed 100,000 Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And then they used that Bitcoin that they borrowed to sell into the 3-4 pool on Curve to tank the price of UST. knowing that if UST depegged, the entire crypto market would go down, right?
Yeah.
And so they hit the curve for pool with UST, and they also sold heavily into Binance UST pools or pairs, not because Binance is obviously centralized. So that's all they did. They shorted Bitcoin, and used their borrowed Bitcoin to I almost said attack, but to try to tank the price of Luna, which they did.
Yeah.
I mean, 100,000 Bitcoin is quite a bit of money, right?
Wow.
At the time,
Yeah.
I think it's what is that, $3 billion, something like
Well,
that, right? 30,000 times
yeah.
100,000, so whatever that is. Um, yeah, and now Bitcoin went down to whatever, or I guess it was at like 34,000. And now obviously they could pay back that Bitcoin very cheaply. So good for them. Whatever. I mean, all they did was short Bitcoin.
Do
That's
you
really
think
an
like one person did that, or like some other like group of people did that at the same time?
probably a group of people, maybe with 3 letters for their name.
Hmm.
Maybe a CIA,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
a SEC. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Probably not. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone, right? Like,
Yeah,
definitely, I think some more TradFi group or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're all excited. We are quote unquote retail investors, and so the theme of the last cycle, bull and bear cycle here, has been um what institutional, right?
Yeah,
Like the institutional got in, and this is what institutional does, right? I mean, this
yeah,
is not unheard of in the institutional world. I think this is what famously George Soros made a lot of his money doing the same thing to the British pound, right?
British, yeah,
So welcome to our institutional brethren.
yeah.
Um, and this is how they like to do things. They like to
Hmm.
borrow billions of dollars of assets to move markets. Good for them, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Well, we thought we were just going to dump on institutions. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
they've been doing this for a long time. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure they know how everything works. That being said, though, I mean, VCs got destroyed in this. I mean, obviously, a lot of retail people got destroyed, but a lot
Yeah.
of VCs, a lot of crypto capital funds, um, I mean, a lot of groups were having to come out on Twitter and say publicly that they didn't hold any Luna or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's pretty embarrassing. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people with a lot of money did get wrecked too. Not just retail, and not just people with 6 figures into it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people with a lot of money. So
Yeah.
my only regret is that I didn't short it in time. Bummer. Anyway, so I think we are in a bear market now. Of course, we're about to probably be formally classified in the U.S. as a recession soon, with two quarters in a row of negative GDP growth.
Mm.
I I know they just passed a $40 billion Ukraine relief aid. I don't know. It's probably all in the form of missiles and stuff like that. I don't
Mm.
know how much relief is actually in the bill, but the U.S. passed $40 billion for Ukraine. In all likelihood, that if anything, that would probably stimulate the economy and stock market and things like that, which is a really sick way to think about it. But um, overall, I mean, we're headed into a bear market, which is not new in crypto, but this is going to be the first bear market where the overall financial macro perspective is also bearish. And the last time we had a recession was when Bitcoin was born, right?
Yep.
Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks, right? It's the
Yep.
infamous headline that was included in I don't know. Was it the first block of Bitcoin or one of the first blocks? Right, had that
Mm-hmm.
message in it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from Satoshi. So or something like that. Who knows? I don't know my Bitcoin lore that well, but anyway, Bitcoin and crypto as a whole has never really existed during a macro bear market. So what do you think? What's the implications of this? Do we need to act differently? What's your prediction for the overall health of crypto, and what? Give us some financial advice. No, give us some non-financial advice. Our
uh,
listeners be doing non-financially right now.
yeah, I can't give any financial advices, but what's the implication from this? I guess like I don't know, next decades or so, we try out more Web3 version of services
Yeah,
from all the blockchain startups and stuff because like we kind of all get to know what the blockchain is all about, and then we all going to understand like what's the risk of it. So that's a great opportunity to use Web3 from now on, I guess.
that's 100% true because I am loving doing Ethereum transactions for less than $5. I that feels so good.
Hmm.
I couldn't stand. I mean, that's why I had to go over to Phantom. I'm like, I'm not paying $100 for a transaction.
Right.
So if you're interested in crypto, but maybe you only hold stuff on Binance and Coinbase and stuff like that, and you never really got into Web3, go register an ENS domain. Go buy a cheap NFT on OpenSea. Go play with this stuff. Install MetaMask. Install some wallets. Take your crypto off an exchange and try
Yep.
using it and see what's
Yep.
going on. Because
And
a
then
lot of people
you
are
should
building cool stuff.
yeah, and then you should lose your private key one time in your
Uh,
lifetime.
I don't know about that.
And then like we all kind of get to know like know about like what decentralization in the Web3 is all about because like if you
Yeah,
claim that you lost your private key to the service provider, no one can recover it. That's the way how we survive in the Web3 world.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100% true. Um, Make sure that you write down your
Hmm.
your seed phrase. Don't type it into a Google Doc or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, um, or don't put it in Dropbox like the people
Oh
who
yeah.
rug pulled that exchange and got
Hmm.
caught earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
They just put the private keys on Dropbox. So stupid.
Hmm.
Um, or get a hardware wallet, play with a hardware wallet,
Oh
see what
yeah.
you think of that. There's also like some really cool projects. I can't remember the name of it, but it lets you record a private key in a piece of metal. Have you seen that?
Hmm.
It's like I don't know, it's like this grid
Yeah.
that you use a tool and you can punch out the pieces of metal on this
Hmm.
grid,
Yeah.
and the grid basically stores the bytes for your private key by which parts you punch out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you have this really heavy physical device. It's not digital at all. It's not electronic. It's just a hunk of metal that has your private key basically etched into it. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, it is cool, right?
Yeah.
They say it'll last for like 1,000 years or something like that.
Wow.
Um,
It's like a physical version of QR code, kind of.
yeah, kind of. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's
Um,
great.
yeah, really cool, right? So there's all this
Hmm.
cool stuff that people are making and people are building. And so that would be my advice. Well, take Kazuaki's advice first. Get some of your crypto, if not all of it. This is not financial advice, by the way.
Hmm.
But you know, self custody it. Go play with Web3 on Ethereum or Avalanche or Optimism or Phantom or wherever, and see what you think of that. And maybe go a step further. And I think bear market is the perfect time to build something yourself.
That's
So
true. That's so
you could
true.
if you're a developer, look into Solidity. If you're not a developer, there are so many developers out there who want to work on projects, but they need help branding and marketing and design and customer service and all this different stuff. So you don't have to be a developer in order to build something in crypto either.
Oh yeah.
There's a huge demand for people who aren't developers. So just go get involved. That's the best way to make money during a bear market. I think start something new. Because if you look at platforms like Aave, Uniswap, I don't know who else. Basically everyone. OpenSea, right? These are all products that are built during bear markets. And now look at them. I mean, we're still in a bear market, but no one would say Aave is a small project now. I remember when Aave was putting up bounties on Gitcoin, just getting started. Or I remember like 1inch and Uniswap had Gitcoin grants going. So, so yeah, check out some stuff. Oh, and you know what? If you've never played with Web3 before, here's something you might not know about is airdrops too. So a lot of times new protocols will drop tokens when they launch their token to people who have used their platform before. And if you're just sitting there on Coinbase or Binance and you're not doing Web3, you're not going to be eligible for those airdrops. So I've been eligible for so many airdrops lately, I can't even keep track of it. And all I'm doing is going around and trying things out. It's not like I'm trying to farm the airdrops. I'm just interested. So anyway, that's my rant on bear markets. Go build something.
That's true. Yeah. Like remember like last bear market, like around 2018 or so?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, like we didn't even have notion of DeFi or layer 2.
Crazy.
But like
that's crazy to think about.
Like how many products we built so far? Like crazy amount, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're on like the 3rd or 4th generation of DeFi already.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because I remember everyone was like so excited about yams.
Yeah.
And no one's doing the yam stuff anymore, But that was basically just like kind of the first generation. I mean, I guess Wiron is still around, right?
Yep.
But wow, that's really crazy to think about. 2018, there was no such thing as DeFi.
No DeFi, no flash loan, no layer
no
2,
flash loan,
no ZK Snark, and
no MEV,
no MEV at all.
Yeah,
right.
No dexes. I mean, someone had to come up with the concept for a dex and X times Y and all these things that we take for granted now.
Yeah.
Uniswap and Sushi Swap.
Yep.
Wow, that's really crazy to think about.
No Gitcoin at all. No crash.
Yeah, no Gitcoin.
Yeah.
No nothing. What were we talking about back in 2018? Do you even remember?
I don't even know. Like why we were so excited about like just the ICO.
It's just ICO, yeah.
And like
it was like $60 or something.
Yeah. that was insane. Like if you look back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like we were still so much mature then.
Yeah.
Like in the time 2018, 17.
Oh, I remember what it was. We were all talking about Bitcoin. What was the fork of Bitcoin? Bitcoin Cash.
How many? Yeah.
Because I remember here in Tokyo, I went to a Bitcoin meetup. And everyone there was talking about Bitcoin Cash.
Oh yeah.
And you weren't allowed to talk about Ethereum. I remember people didn't like that, and I think that's still true at the Tokyo Bitcoin meetup. You're not allowed to talk about Ethereum.
Yeah. There's so many,
which is so stupid.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I didn't put in the show notes. Speaking of not talking about Ethereum, maybe you're allowed to talk about Ethereum now at the Tokyo Bitcoin meetup because Vitalik put out a tweet storm saying that he regretted not working on Bitcoin or something like that. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that.
Absolutely insane. What is happening there? Is he having second thoughts about 2.0?
Yeah, I guess so. Or like, I don't know. Do you think he regretting the way Ethereum community today? was not supposed to be, or like not the way he was hoping for.
Well, what was he hoping for then? I mean,
I don't know.
it's
I don't know.
yeah. What did he think was going to happen?
Because like I still don't think like whole Bitcoin maximalist community is still healthy.
Yeah.
Like, and the Ethereum community is so much healthier because like much more decentralizations and
Mhm.
diversities perspective. But
That's true.
why Vitalik say that? I was just curious.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there is something to be said about the UTXO model that I think is
Yeah, yeah.
more elegant in a lot of ways. It has downsides too, but more
Hmm.
elegant than the accounts model
For
that
sure.
Ethereum uses. I will say I personally am pretty bullish on proof of work, and I think I've said that before on this podcast. And
Hmm.
so I am concerned because a lot of normies, casual people will and have staked Ethereum now
Hmm.
for ETH 2.0.
Yeah.
And they're staking it mostly, I think 99% of them are staking it in some sort of group platform where they're going to run nodes on
Okay.
behalf of all these people who have staked, right? A
Yeah.
staking pool, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
But the difference between proof of work and proof of stake is that the economic incentives in proof of work are translated into an economic threat in the
Hmm.
form of slashing.
Right.
And do people really understand that? And what happens if a node operator makes a mistake and gets
Mm.
slashed?
Mm.
And that node operator represents thousands of people who have staked their ETH in that node. Are we
Mm.
just as is the Ethereum community just going to slash all these people? That kind of worries me. That
Yeah.
I mean, that's you have to have that threat, otherwise you can't have consensus. Um, Bitcoin proof of work is a little more elegant in that respect. There
Hmm.
is no need for consensus in terms of whether transactions are valid or not. Well, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but there's no need for consensus in terms of the canonical chain. It just happens very elegantly as a race
Mm.
versus proof of stake, which is like let's all take turns coming up with the blocks and like we all think this one's good and if anyone cheats we're going to punish them. That seems less simple. It's more complicated,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
That I don't know, that was just my feeling on it, that maybe ETH 2.0 is
Yeah.
mm, it's close now, and
Hmm.
so we're going to find out soon. And maybe Vitalik is like, maybe it's a combination of them, that he's worried about that, and then
Yeah.
also he feels like it hasn't panned out the way he wanted it to. But I mean,
Mm.
Bitcoin, I'm not that impressed with, because you could be building a lot more stuff on Bitcoin and people haven't, and people
Mm.
don't for a lot of different reasons. And the most advanced thing on Bitcoin is the Ethereum tech back from 2018, which is state channels and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Mm.
stuff that no one's really interested in. Um, whatever, whatever. I mean, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum in the long term, of course, both of them. But I don't know what's going on. I think everyone's just losing their minds now. And bear market will do that to you.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Um. Anyway, oh, did you want to talk more about this premonition of Luna collapsing?
Oh no. Well, I just add that to the show note because like there's a bunch of people like predicted Luna's corruption or like
Oh yeah,
because like like people pointed out, oh, Luna is such a Ponzi. So like this guy was saying like if Luna reached the all-time high, like we got a short, and then like this stable coin guy was like so acting full.
Yeah, that
That
probably
yeah.
is. That probably led to the downfall. Him just taunting people on
Oh yeah.
Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Um, by the way, there are many other stable coins out there that haven't
Hmm.
depegged.
Oh
I
yeah.
think their founders are a little more careful, but not that much more careful because look at Mim.
Yeah.
I mean, the founders of Mim are somewhat infamously gnarly. I guess is one
Hmm.
way you could say it. Um, there's Tomb, right, which is pegged to
Yeah.
Phantom. There are a lot of algo stables still out there.
Hmm.
So if you're interested
So
in shorting them, go find them.
yeah.
But their founders are a little bit more chill, so I think that helps. That's probably part of it.
Yeah.
Just don't encourage someone to attack it. I
Yep.
mean, not attack it. I already said I didn't agree with the attack it. But don't encourage someone to short
Hmm.
it. Yeah. So I just saw this before we started recording. Sqlana is having issues again.
Oh yeah. Like this guy pointing out Sqlana was done again, and then like a lot of people making fun of Solana. Like there's office hours, and they say like, oh, Solana is not office hour right now because like there's no one can use Solana at this time. So
Yeah, Sqlana.
take Solana, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, jeez. Um, I still haven't mastered Solana, but um, I've been tempted to because there's some kind of cool NFTs on there. I don't know.
Hmm.
You mess with it at all yet?
No, no, yeah, no, yeah. A
Yeah.
bit scary, but like, what all this like service providers on Solana feels about this? I was curious. Like, do they have to switch their chains to some other chains, or do
Hmm.
they still want to stick with Solana? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I think there's a lot of people on it, right? I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
people use it, so there must be something about it they like. I mean, it's fast and cheap, right? Like,
yeah.
whatever. It's a trilemma. We talked about that before. It's a
Mm,
trilemma. Solana is fast and cheap, but it goes down a lot. You can't have
yep,
everything. Ethereum is slow and expensive, but it stays up.
yep.
Phantom is fast and cheap, and it stays up, but no one uses it. So there's always trade offs.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean Solana. I don't know enough about their consensus mechanism to comment intelligently, I guess. But like, what is their problem? Why does this keep happening?
I don't know. I don't know this time.
Yeah. Doge Day. I guess it's
Yeah.
it's up right now, right? Like it's
It's
back
up
up.
right now, yeah.
Yeah.
It was down for a couple hours this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think someone would launch an NFT project on Solana instead of Ethereum?
Hmm. Because
Is
of,
it because of OpenSea?
I think so.
Hmm. Because OpenSea supports Solana, right?
Hmm. Yep.
I wonder how they got that deal. It also supports Polygon, so you know.
Yeah.
Um, Shoot, I'm trying to remember how to use OpenSea. Solana is in beta on OpenSea. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't even. You don't use MetaMask for Solana, right? They have their own thing, or
Oh, I don't know.
See, we don't even know that, so don't listen to us when it comes to Sqlana.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of these look. I mean, some of them look cool, and I'm just looking at some random NFT called Blood Moon Boku. Okay, and I don't even. It's not even revealed yet, and the floor is 49 Solanas, which is what, a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Oh, oh no, I lied. It's not a lot of money at all. It's $13.
What? Sqlana?
49 Solana is. Oh no, never mind. That's just Google being stupid. Oh yeah, 49 Solana is $2,500.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh,
A lot of money.
that is a lot of money. That's for a mug of red liquid that isn't even revealed yet, called Blood Moon Boku, which is an offshoot of a project called Boryoku Dragons. This is me looking at Solana NFTs for the first time live on the podcast. And these Boryoku Dragons have a floor price of, I don't know what. It doesn't even say. The volume traded is 91,000 Solana for Boryoku Dragons. So the floor price on this cup of red liquid is more expensive than the Milady I bought this morning. How's that for a transition? That was good, right?
Yeah.
So if you listen to the podcast for a long time, what episode is this? It's like episode 6, thing, right?
Yep.
We've talked a lot about NFT drama, and I've mentioned the Miladies before and how I didn't understand it. I think I finally become Milady pilled, and I bought a Milady this morning. The price of Miladies went up to like 2 ETH last night, and I was so bummed because I was like, oh, I should have got one. But then a new accusation that the founder of Milady is a Nazi pedophile or something like that came out. And so the price went back down to around 1 ETH, so I finally bought one. But RiderRips has been defending Miladies. I don't know why, but he seems pro Milady. I think it's because Miladies are widely known as having the most e-girl owners. There's a lot of women on Twitter who are attractive who own Miladies. Out of any NFT collection, I think Miladies has that the most, and so I think RiderRips is supporting Milady because of that. I saw someone did a Milady derivative project called like Not Okay Miladies. There's these like Not Okay Bear NFTs or something.
Wow.
I don't even know what it's a parody of at this point. But the person who made it put a picture of RiderRips as one of the attributes in the NFT collection. He's one of the backgrounds. It's just a picture of him.
Whoa.
And he thought that was pretty good. So it's some combination of Miladies and Not Okay Bears. But yeah, people are saying that Miladies are Nazi. I don't know. Who knows? Like, people are just saying all this crazy stuff. And I think RiderRips at one point was about to join in on that, but then he decided not to and decided to just keep hammering on Yuga Labs. And this week, he has absolutely had a massive win over Yuga Labs in his quest to bring down the Bored Apes, in that he just decided to go on Foundation and start minting duplicates of the Bored Apes with the same image. And then not even as far as I understand it, it's not even like he re-uploaded the image, but he's linking to the same image that's in the real NFT. Thereby, there's no copyright infringement because all he did was copy the link. He didn't actually re-upload the image.
Oh, okay.
So both NFTs point to the same image on IPFS or whatever. So how is that copyright infringement, right? He didn't copy the image. It points to the same image. And so Yuga Labs had issued a DMCA request to Foundation to get RiderRips to stop doing this, because he was just on Twitter saying, send me 0.1 ETH and I'll mint you whatever Bored Ape you want. Even at one point, he was calling them RiderRips Bored Apes, which he shortened to Rapes, which I thought was a bad name for it. But yeah, so Yuga Labs issued a DMCA, and then they retracted it. And they said, actually, it's fine. We're not going to sue, and you can leave it up. Because I think they were so afraid of generating a lot of controversy, and therefore, if there was controversy generated around this, it would give RiderRips a lot of attention to then keep talking about how Yuga Labs is some secret, esoteric, neo-Nazi cult, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously they don't want. They want it to be Disney or something like that. So, so shout outs. I mean, props to RiderRips. I mean, I've been skeptical of him a lot on this podcast and just thinking that he's a massive troll.
Yeah.
And that is probably true. He is a massive troll, but what he's done here is actually, I think, pretty smart.
Yeah, that's a very like clever way to embarrass.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
NFTs, right?
Yeah, and he's made, like 20 ETH or something doing this.
Yeah.
And he says they're all handmade, which is hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Because he's doing them one by one. So these are nicer because they're handmade. They're not mass produced like the Bored Apes are.
Yeah, it's great.
So it's too funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's getting I think he's getting folded into the Milady cult as well, even though whatever is up with the history of Miladies. But full disclosure, I finally bought one. So you can check my Twitter if you want to see it. I finally bought one. So stupid. But what can you do? It's actually I still have some one-of-one NFTs that I paid more for from Japanese artists. Seems like Japan, they're way more into the one-of-one NFTs versus PFPs.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know why.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Like those artists are very. They basically prefer like, handmade and the one-on-one NFTs in general.
Yeah. It's unique, right?
Yeah.
It's more rare.
They just don't understand how to program that.
Oh, that's it. They just don't know how to do the 10,000. So they're just doing them one at a time.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of in line with the Japan, in my opinion. There's a lot of stuff that you can get that's like handmade,
Yeah.
Ceramics and I don't know, even weird stuff like work tools and stuff. It's common for people to have handmade ones. People like that. Like we had some like cleaners come over to the house right after we had our baby to help out and stuff. And then they didn't want to use, like, we had like a plastic broom. Yeah. And they didn't want to use it. They wanted to use like a wooden bristle straw broom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny. So they went and got those instead of the ones that we had. Stuff like that. It was more, I mean, that's very stereotypical of me to say, but I think there's more interest in like handmade stuff here. Handmade stuff, yeah. True. So anyway. Well, yeah, I think that's all. Oh, wait, one last thing. More NFT stuff is the CC0 Summer. Tiny dinos and last night I minted some tiny ninjas. A lot of these CC0 ones are tiny. Of course, there's nouns, which I think kind of kicked it off. Did you check this out, CC0 stuff?
Oh yeah.
What do you think? Is it cool? Is it lame?
I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I think it's very cool. Yeah.
I was listening to a Twitter space for Tiny Dinos with a guy who was an old school punk and ape holder who was buying into Tiny Dinos. And he was saying that he thought the whole idea of a CC0, which, if you're not familiar, Creative Commons zero, is like the most permissible or permissionless, I don't know how you would phrase it, but the most liberal license for in terms of copyright. So if you buy one of these tiny dinos or any of these other CC0 projects, you could use it for whatever you want. You could sell shirts with your dino on it, and kind of, to be honest, Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're not CC0, but they had been pioneering kind of this idea of NFTs that you could own the copyright to the content of as well, which is cool. And then another thing about the CC0 NFTs is a lot of them are free mints, so you don't have to pay anything to mint them, just a gas fee. And then the way the project owners make money is via the royalty transfer fee on OpenSea and stuff like that. So overall, it's very cool. I'm into it. I've been minting a lot of CC0 stuff. It's fun. It's a very like chill experience when it comes to NFTs. So if you've never done NFTs before and you're interested in minting one, I don't know, there's CC0 drops all the time, it seems. So just go on Twitter and look up CC0 Summer and you can see all the projects. I think it's quite cool. And full disclosure, I'm minting them as well. So all right, well, I think that's about all I had for this week. Kazuaki, is there anything else you want to talk about? Should we get out of here?
I think I'm good.
All right, everyone, thank you for listening. This has been Something About Web3. Stay safe out there. Don't buy Luna 2. That's not financial advice, but dear God, be careful out there. And hopefully you'll make it to next week. And we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.